Om Yedharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Desham Tadagato Yamatam Desham Chayo Nirodham Evam Vadi Mahashamanaye Swaha. Om Yedharma Hetum Prabhavam Hetum Desham Tathagato Yamatam Desham Chayo Nirodham Evam Vadi Mahashamanaye Swaha. Om Yedharma Hetum Prabhavam Hetum Desham Tathagato Yamatam Desham Chayo Nirodham Evam Vadi Mahashamanaye Swaha. Okay, we are talking about the entity was one, the entities and isolates. Yes, Howard?
Can I just try to refine the question that I asked beforehand?
Yes.
It seems to me that that the notion of entities and isolates is a contextual one. So that, for instance, if there's a kind of isolate, for instance, like the plank or the table, that if we take that plank out and obviously put it in the garden or something like that, it itself becomes an entity. So it becomes a piece of wood in a different context, and it's an entity in itself. On the other hand, there are isolates like which we call characteristics, like smell or colour and things like that, and they can never become entities. So I'm wondering if there seems to be like two different forms of isolates: those that in a different context can become entities, and those that in a different context can never become entities.
Okay, this is a very good discussion. So what we discussed earlier was whether or not two things are entity-wise one or different, isolate-wise one or different. Now Howard is bringing up the question of whether what is entity, what is isolate, rather than whether or not two things are entity-wise one or different. Okay, so for that what I would say is this is a very good question. What is entity? What is isolate? Entities. Anything which has a substance, which Tashila said this morning, anything which has a substance is an entity. Is an entity. For example, the flower is an entity. Likewise, the color of the flower also is an entity. It's not just characteristic, it also has a substance, the color. In other words, all impermanent phenomena are entities.
But the colour doesn't have, the colour isn't a substance.
Yes, color has substance.
The colour is a characteristic of substance.
Yes, it is a characteristic. I agree with you. The color is a characteristic. Color of the flower is the characteristic of the flower. So to have this color, physics-wise, there should be the light falling in this. So this light is the color. The light which reflects is the color. That is the substance. It is made of contrasts.
The colour can never exist separate from the substance itself.
You are true. You are very right. You are very right. For example, the flower cannot exist without the color. Just as the color cannot exist without the flower. It's both ways. It's not just only one way. Okay, so the idea is first, we have to have some basic structure. The structure is entities. When we speak about what is entity, okay, we were discussing about whether or not two things are entity-wise one, isolated one, wise one or different. This is what we were discussing this morning. Now Howard is bringing up what is entity, what is isolated. So what I'm saying is entity, any phenomenon is isolated. Any phenomenon is isolated, right? Any phenomenon is isolated. or the all impermanent phenomena are entities. Composite phenomena are entities. Then the question is whether two things, the color of the flower is a composite or not? Yes, it's composite phenomena. The flower is a composite or not? Yes, composite phenomena. Are these two entities one or different? So then the discussion which we had this morning, that these two entities was one, because these two are the relationship is past and whole. All relationship between the past and whole, entity was always one. Entity was always one. Okay. So in other words, what we said is that those things which have substance, meaning those things which are impermanent phenomena, they are all entities. They are all entities. And then they isolate, we can say, all phenomena that exist in this universe, anything that exists in this universe, they are isolates also. So there is no contradiction between entities and isolates. This is one way of understanding it. Another way of understanding is that entities is the same impermanent phenomenon. Isolates means something which comes into being, something which comes from the object with the substance is entities. Something which comes from purely from the subject or from the subject is known as the isolates. This is another way of understanding it. So depending on how you understand it, okay, for the time being, it may be easier to see what is from the object as a substance. You are looking for the entities. What is from the subject? We are looking for the isolates. For the time being, keep it like this.
But in that sense, though, sorry, I mean, if I take again like the flower,
yes.
I mean, for me it's obvious that it's related to the subject, which is I see the flowers as red, but a dog would see that flower, would not see a colour there because it's colourblind.
Okay, so that's true. Not only that, the dog may even not see a flower.
He would see the flower, I think, but he wouldn't see.
Okay, you think, right?
He wouldn't see
the bees see the flower as a house, not as a flower, not as a decoration.
You would see the object.
That's true, as an object, not as a flower.
That's not the point. But he would see the same object as I see.
Okay, he will also see some color there.
Well, he's colourblind.
No, he may not see as a red, but maybe see as a white or black.
Yeah.
There's also color.
Yeah.
Right?
But I can take that plant and I can put it on a table. I can't take a colour and put it on the table. I have to take an object where the colour is actually part of that object. I mean,
so you can take it's the same reasoning applies to you also. Without taking the color, you cannot take the object. Just as you cannot take the object without the color, you cannot take the color without the object also. In the same ways. The same reasoning applies. Okay, so the point is for the time being we need some ground, and then what Howard is bringing is a very important point. Let's not forget that. So these discussions we have to do. It will be very helpful if you bring these discussions. You're getting it? So the idea is, what is entity? Entity is anything which has a substance and undergoing change. This is known as entities. What is isolate? Isolate is anything which does not have a substance, still exists by the power of the mind from the subject. This is known as isolates. This is what we're seeing now. So the main discussion is whether or not two things are entity-wise one or different. One or different, this question. For that, what is the issue? Is the entity-wise one or different, or isolated-wise one different? This is what we're discussing. From this, what we learned is that all parts and whole, the relationship between the parts and the whole, the relationship is always entity-wise one and isolated-wise different. Okay, so how many of you understood this much? Raise your hands. How many of you understood this much? How many of you did not understand it? You do not understand. Okay. Entity-wise one, meaning entity-wise, to see entity-wise one or different, what should we do? To see two things, whether the two things are entity-wise one or different, what should we do?
Look at it from either the subject side or the object side.
No, to look for the entities. We go to the object, we go to the subject. We go to the object. When we go to the object to see whether these two are one or different, you are looking for the entity-wise one or different. When you go to the subject to look for whether these two are one or different, you are looking for the isolate-wise one or different. You getting it? Okay, this much if you understood is good enough. Okay, now for that it would be good if possible those of us who are from Kalachakra Center, from Nalanda Center, from the Vajrayogini Center, or from any other center, from any center, or from, for example, say Geshe and others, I think Indian also, are doing the Nalanda Master's course from Tibetan House. The point is that our mind, we must always keep our mind, learn how to make our mind agile and active, philosophically. That is very precious to understand emptiness. It doesn't matter whatever course that you're doing, make sure that you're doing something. Keep doing something, the studies to activate mind, and particularly where the discussions are happening. That is very helpful to make your mind active and agile. Without an agile and active mind, it's impossible that you can understand emptiness. Okay, this is what we have to keep in mind. And emptiness is a very fine phenomena, understand which the mind should extremely be dexterous, very agile. Okay, I remember when it was like, I think the third or fourth year of my formal studies in my institute Buddhist Dialectics. My teacher, the institute principal, my teacher, Gueshe Damdul, once I was so curious about emptiness, although it was not, I don't think it was mine, although it was not mine, the subject yet. I was the class below, way before we studied emptiness. And I asked a lot of questions to my teacher about emptiness. And then my teacher gave one example, which is so helpful. What is that is, emptiness requires a tremendous agility of your mind. Your mind should be so dexterous, so agile, so sharp, in ways that, he said, that, okay, he said, on a piece of paper, just draw a line, and then keep the piece of paper on the table, and from distance, you roll a marble. And your job is to make the marble move and sit on the line. Line is just a pencil line. So what do? You push the marble with your finger, and marble will roll. As it rolls, the marble may not even reach the line, or the marble may reach and cross the line. If the marble does not reach, it is absolutism, extreme of absolutism. If the marble crosses the line, it is extreme of nihilism. And the line will not hold you. The line is just a pencil line. So what should you do? If you exert too much energy, too much of force, it will cross the line. You will not realize emptiness. And if you exert it so less, it will not even touch the line. It will not even reach the line. So what should you do now? Should you exert too much, or should you exert so much force or less force? What should you do? Wait a minute. Middle way. How middle way?
Not too much, not too little.
Yes. You must have the control of your energy. It's not that, okay, I have to exert so much of energy, right? You'll cross the line, you'll fall into nihilism. And if you don't exert enough, you'll not even reach the line. This is absolutism. So you should exert it with such a skill. It's not that you should, whatever energy that you have, no, this is not be the right thing. Your hand should have a tremendous skill to make sure that it just hits the line and stay there. For this is the amount of the agility your mind requires to see emptiness. It requires a tremendous agility in mind. For that matter, you have to study. You have to keep your mind continuously studying. This is so helpful. So therefore, if possible, what I would suggest is that do some kind of course. Do some kind of course on the study of emptiness, on the study of Bodhicitta, on the study of the four seals and so forth. You must keep doing some course and keep reading some materials on a daily basis. That will be extremely helpful. Otherwise, oftentimes we have the false illusion that, okay, we seek the blessings of some gurus and then you will realize emptiness. Impossible. Okay, with this in mind, what I'm saying is that entity was one, entity was different, Ashura was one, Ashura was different. So, okay, so we are done with this. Now the next point is the positive and negative phenomena. Positive and negative phenomena. This is again another very important point that we need to concept that we need to know. Okay, let's see. Okay, what is in my hand? Okay, I'm happy because some people they don't look at it and they say flower. They think that I'm supposed to hold a flower. Okay, so I'm holding a sheet of paper. I'm holding paper. Okay. How do you know that I'm holding a paper? I can see that. I can see that. Okay. What is in my left hand? Nothing. Nothing. How do you know that nothing is in my hand? How do you know that? I can see that. Is there some phenomenon known as nothing? Huh? Is there some phenomenon known as nothing that comes to your mind? No. Okay. Both are correct. You see a sheet of paper in my hand and you see nothing. Both are correct. But there's a difference in how you see these two things. One, there's a substance there to tell you that I'm the paper. And another, there's nothing there. Nothing there. But how do you know that nothing is there? This you know by explicitly negating something. Negative negation. Here you say nothing is there means that, okay, there's no paper in my left hand. You know the absence of the paper through explicitly negating the presence of the paper. Whereas this paper, to know this, you don't have to explicitly negate anything. Right? The paper says that I'm the paper. This is how it appears to you. Any phenomena, okay, now look, what is positive phenomena, what is negative phenomena? Positive and negative, it has many connotations. Positive, something good, wholesome. Negative, something destructive, wrong. And in some other context, positive means very dangerous. Okay, your cancer is positive, tuberculosis positive is very dangerous. Oh, tuberculosis is negative, you have no technology. So sometimes negative means wrong, the unwholesome. Sometimes it's good. It has many connotations. So here, positive, negative does not have any of these connotations. It simply means it has a very different connotation. Positive or negative phenomena simply has a different connotation. When you speak about, say, the paper, how do you know this paper? So this paper you know directly. So any phenomena, now look, what is the negative phenomena, what is the positive phenomena? Negative phenomena is a phenomena which our mind cognizes, which our mind knows through explicitly negating the object of negation. Okay, if you're making notes, you note it down. A negative phenomena is defined as the phenomena. Negative phenomena is defined as a phenomena which the mind cognizes or which the mind knows through explicitly negating the object of negation. Through explicitly negating the object of negation. When I say absence of the flower in my hand, absence of the flower, you are explicitly negating the flower in the presence of the flower in my hand. Okay, let me say this again. The negative phenomenon is a phenomenon which a mind cognizes through explicitly negating the object of negation. Negative phenomenon is a phenomenon which a mind cognizes through explicitly negating the object of negation. This is negative phenomenon. Positive phenomenon is a phenomenon which a mind cognizes without having to explicitly negate the object of negation. Positive phenomenon is a phenomenon which a mind cognizes without having to explicitly negate the object of negation. Okay, now tell me. What is this? Is it water? Is it water or not?
Yes.
What is inside?
What?
Water. Inside, absence of juice?
Yes.
Hey, inside is water?
Yes.
Yes.
Inside is absence of juice?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So both are inside.
Yes.
Absence of juice also inside?
Yes.
And the water is also inside.
Yes.
Tell me, water, positive or negative phenomena? Huh? Water. You learn the positive negative phenomena, still you are not getting it. Water, positive or negative? Wow, you are very strong. Thank you. So you don't trust my face? Yeah, I'm very happy. Water is a positive phenomenon. Very good. Now inside, what is inside the water? There is water. There is also absent of water. No, absent of juice. Yes? Absent of juice. Absent of juice. Absence of juice. Positive, negative. Huh? Negative. Very good. So, this flower, hey, this object, is this flower?
Yes.
This object, is it absent of human beings?
Yes.
Yes. So this object is a flower as well as absent of human beings. Both are, this object is both. So this is flower, positive, negative.
Positive.
This flower, this object is the empty of being a flower. No, being a human being. Positive, negative. Negative. So look, the same object can be seen as positive, can be seen as negative. It depends on how you look at it. You getting it? Okay, so these two, the flower, this object being the flower, this object being the empty of human being, these two are entity-wise one or different? Entity-wise one or different? This object being the flower, this object being empty of human being, entity-wise one or different?
The same entity.
Huh?
The same entity.
Okay, this one, yes. Whenever the Tutan's Osama is new to me, so he's a little intimidated, right? But Patrick is used to me, so he said he has the same entity. Okay, very good. These two are same entity, but one is positive and one is negative. Which is positive, which is negative? The flower is a positive. Absence of the human being is negative. Very good. Okay, so positive and negative, these two things can never be isolated wise different. You getting it? Positive and negative can never be isolated wise same. What did I say? Different. Okay, so what I should be saying, correct one is that the positive phenomena and negative phenomena, two positive phenomena, although entity was one, they can never be isolated wise one. Because one is negative by explicitly negating object negation. One is positive without explicitly negating object negation. You getting it? Okay. Some of you may be wondering, why did he add the word explicitly? Right? A negative phenomena is a phenomena which a mind cognizes to explicitly negate. Okay, why did I say use the word explicitly? It's because the flower, is it, when you cognize the flower, do you cognize the flower by negating the object negation? No? Okay, do you negate the non-flower? To know the flower, do you have to negate the non-flower or not? Huh? Without negating non-flower, how can you know the flower? This is flower. How can you distinguish this as a flower? You have to negate. But you don't have to explicitly negate. You negate, but you don't explicitly negate the non-flower. So whereas when you say absence of flower, you explicitly negate the presence of the flower. You getting it? This is why we say that even the positive phenomena, our mind knows the positive phenomena through negating object negation, but not through explicitly negating object negation. This is different. Okay. Now for your information, tell me. Absence of, okay. I don't drink coffee. Positive, negative?
Negative.
Okay, if His Holiness the Dalai Lama were to, okay, tomorrow His Holiness the Dalai Lama, for the birthday, His Holiness is going to be here in the Kalachakra Center. So who is going to volunteer to be his attendant? Everybody, right? Okay, I will see who is a good attendant. I will see who is a good attendant. Okay, safe. So we do a test. I say that, okay, I said, and now we are doing a rehearsal, today rehearsal. So I'm supposed to be I pretend myself, I personify as His Holiness the Dalai Lama, to see whether you are a good attendant. Then morning you come and you serve me coffee. I said, I don't drink coffee. Do you understand what I'm saying? You are supposed to, you are training to be the attendant of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and you serve me coffee in the morning. I said, I don't drink coffee. Then what do? You go back to the kitchen, put back the coffee, and bring tea, and you serve the tea to me. Right? Okay. Say if you, what will you do if you serve me coffee, and I said I don't drink coffee. So what will you do? What will you do? You go back, then you'll drink.
No.
No, I would ask him. I would ask him.
He asked him, what do you do?
Okay, you're too direct. You're going to say this to His Holiness. What do you drink? You're a very complicated person. You're very complicated. I said, what do you drink? Better you ask His Holiness's other assistants. What does he drink? Don't ask His Holiness directly. You can ask him, no problem. His Holiness will be very happy. Okay, whereas if you say that, if you go, okay, he's not drinking coffee, okay, then you bring up juice. Who told you that I drink juice? You're getting it? Who told you that I drink juice? I just said I don't drink coffee, that's it. You're getting it? I just explicitly negate drinking coffee. I did not imply anything else. Negative phenomena, there are two kinds. Two kinds. One is known as affirming negative, and the other one is known as non-affirming negative. Affirming negative, non-affirming negative. Affirming negative, non-affirming negative means you just explicitly negate object negation, that is, it does not affirm, it does not imply anything else. I say, I don't drink coffee. It doesn't mean that I drink water. It doesn't mean that I drink juice. It doesn't mean that I drink trade. I did not give you any extra information. Whereas if I say that I do eat, but I never eat in the night, when will you serve me food? Huh? Huh? In the morning. Or in the daytime. The daytime. Yesterday, I do eat. You see that I'm not become strong, but I eat only in the daytime. No, I don't eat in the night. So when will you serve me food? In the daytime. You're getting it? Although I do not tell you explicitly. I do not tell you explicitly that I eat in the daytime, but you got the information. While I explicitly negate eating in the night time, I already gave implicitly, it infers that I eat in the daytime. You getting it? That negative phenomenon is known as, okay, on the I do eat, a strong person does not eat in the night. That strong person never eats in the night. Positive or negative? Hey, that strong person, that person who's very strong, he never eats in the night. Positive phenomenon or negative phenomenon?
Negative.
Huh? Positive. Does not eat in the night. Explicitly negates eating in the night. Which is negative. Within negative, affirming negative or non-affirming negative? This strong person does not eat anything in the night. Never eats in the night. Affirming, non-affirming? In the first place, positive or negative? Negative. Within negative, affirming negative or non-affirming negative? Non-affirming. Affirming negative. Very good. It's affirming negative. It implies that he is eating in the daytime. You getting it? Okay. Now.
Sorry, could you explain that again?
Okay. The very strong person, he never eats in the night. This is a positive phenomenon, negative phenomenon. Negative. Within negative, affirming, non-affirming.
That's what I don't understand.
Okay, if you are his attendant, when will you serve the food? In the daytime. How do you know that? He do not tell you that I eat in the daytime. It's affirmed. Although it's not explicitly mentioned, but you understood it. Combining the two things. That he's very strong, right? He's not a yogi. He's not a yogi, he depends on ordinary. He does, of course, he's a very strong person and never eats in the night time. He must be eating. So that is only daytime. Okay. So, now what is important is, okay, all absences, absent of flower, and so forth, they are always negative phenomena. Okay. I have no, okay, I don't like chocolate, positive, negative. Negative. I don't like cheesecake, positive, negative.
Very
Okay, that's negative. I don't like cheesecake, this is negative. Right? I don't like cheesecake, this is negative. Yes, Sharp?
Et si je dis que je ne veux pas tuer, c'est positif ou c'est négatif? C'est positif.
If I affirm that I don't want to kill, is that affirmative or negative?
Oh, this is a good question. I don't kill or I don't want to kill. I don't kill or I don't want to kill. Which is the...
I don't want to kill.
This is a good question. Okay, let's say first, I don't kill. Positive and negative. I don't kill. Positive and negative. Negative. I don't want to kill. Positive and negative.
Positive.
I don't want to kill.
negative.
Wow. Sharp wrote a complicated example. I don't want to kill. I don't kill. This is negative. Killing is rejected. I don't want to kill.
Negative.
Negative, positive. Wanting to kill is explicitly negated. Wanting to kill is explicitly negated. Do you agree with me? Yes. So that is negative. Okay, very good. Huh?
The I don't want to kill.
I don't want to kill means wanting to kill is explicitly negated. I said very clearly, explicitly negated.
Not implicit.
No, I don't know about implicit, explicit. I simply talk about whether or not this is positive or negative.
Yeah.
Affirm, non-affirm, this is different thing. First we discussed when it's positive, negative. So we said that I don't want to kill means wanting the desire to kill. That is negated, explicitly negated. Because I said it openly, I don't want to kill. Yeah. Okay. So with this, let's say, what do I said? I don't like chocolate. Positive, negative. Negative. I don't eat chocolate. Positive, negative. Negative. Okay. The Kalachakra Center does not have mosquitoes. Positive, negative. Huh? Positive. Okay. Let's say the Kalachakra Center does not have. Okay, let's say that we do not have. Okay, the Buddhas do not have afflictions. Positive, negative. Huh? Negative. We are so rich in afflictions. Positive, negative. Huh? Huh? Positive. Okay, we the people here, we have no afflictions at all. Positive, negative.
Negative.
Huh? We have no afflictions. Positive, negative. Positive and negative phenomena. Huh? Negative phenomena. Is it a phenomena? Is it true? No. It's not true. Which means it doesn't exist. If it doesn't exist, it is not a phenomena. If it is not a phenomena, it's not a negative phenomena. Okay. So Potri thinks that we are all enlightened, we are all Buddhas. Potri thinks that we don't have, not only Potri, but most of us think that we have no afflictions. It's negative phenomena. No, it's not negative phenomena. It's not phenomena in the first place. Right? Okay. So with this, what I'm saying now, okay, this flower is not elephant, positive or negative?
Negative.
This flower does not exist objectively, positive or negative? This flower is not permanent, positive or negative? This flower is not objectively existent, positive or negative? Hey, louder. This flower does not exist objectively, positive, negative? Negative. So, does not exist objectively means this flower is empty of objective existence. This flower is empty of objective existence, positive and negative. And Sophia, this flower is empty of objective existence, positive and negative. Negative, very good. So therefore, emptiness is always negative phenomena. Emptiness is always negative phenomena. You getting it? Okay. Within negative phenomena, how many kinds of negative phenomena are there? What are they?
Affirming.
Affirming negative and non-affirming negative. Emptiness is always non-affirming negative. Don't forget it. Emptiness is always non-affirming negative. Emptiness is always negative phenomena, number one. Within negative, it is always non-affirming negative. Don't forget it. Okay. Okay. Emptiness, positive and negative phenomena. Okay, I know you're feeling bored because I'm saying so often, right? Okay, emptiness, positive and negative. Negative phenomena. Affirming, non-affirming, negative. Non-affirming. Okay. Emptiness of independent existence. Emptiness of independent existence, positive or negative? Negative. Emptiness of independent existence. Affirming negative, non-affirming negative? Non-affirming negative. Okay. Emptiness of independent existence. Does it imply dependent existence? Yes? So therefore it affirms something. When you reject independent existence, you infer dependent existence. Right? So therefore, emptiness of independent existence Is it affirming negative? No, it can't be both.
Négatif.
Huh? It's a negative phenomenon. Within negative, affirming negative or non-affirming negative? Emptiness. Non-affirming. Okay. Emptiness is a short form of emptiness, independent existence. Yes? So emptiness, independent existence means it affirms dependent existence, dependent origination. Yes? Yes?
But you just said emptiness is always a non-affirming.
No, I said it, but you have to defend it. Yes, Anna Sophie, you want to say something? Okay, so what we are saying is that emptiness is always negative phenomenon and is always non-affirming negative. Then this debate comes, this question comes. If emptiness is non-affirming negative, emptiness, does it not affirm something, another phenomena? If the answer is no, nothing affirmed, then dependent existence, is it affirmed or not? Right? When you reject independence, dependence is automatically affirmed, yes? If it affirms, it becomes a non-affirming negative. So which is totally against the basic thesis, the tenor system of the middle way philosophy. So, how do you defend this? This is a very serious question. This is a very serious question. Okay, if possible, you can do it during the evening group discussion. Yeah, okay. Okay, now what we have to do is that what we have learned thus far. What we have learned thus far is that what the object is, whether it's flower or not flower, it depends on the subject. We learned that it depends on the subject. Okay, let's say the flower, let's say this very beautiful orchid flower. You look at this flower, what is your emotional state? Happy, unhappy? Seeing that object is a flower is a cognitive discrimination. We learned about the 5 functions. Cognitive discrimination. We see this is a flower. Seeing there's a flower, cognitively you see there's a flower, orchid flower, fresh orchid flower. What is the feeling? Very pleasant feeling. Very pleasant feeling arises. And this pleasant feeling makes us intention. What intention? To possess it or to continue looking at it. To continue looking at it or to possess it. I like to have it. Intention. Okay. Then we say okay. So this is something positive. Likewise, in a very unwholesome way, say people look at things, oh, this is a good place, I want to have it, and then they wish wars against the other countries to snatch the land. Right? In the olden times, so many of these things happened. Fighting wars between the kingdoms, between the empires, they fought wars because of wanting to possess something. What happens psychologically? What is happening? Was that first they see something good in the other side, on the other side. Cognitively, you see something good in the other side. Then what happens? Very pleasant feeling comes. Knowing that it's not with me, want to have it, intention to have it. How to have it? How to have it? Corruption, war, all these things happen. So this whole world comes into being because of these, how the mind works. How the mind works. Okay, with this, let us see. Finally, what we are seeking is fearlessness. Do you agree with me or not? What we are seeking is fearlessness, and what we are seeking is infinite happiness. So two. First, we'll deal with the fearlessness. There, what we see is that, and also what we learned was that the dream, the three scenarios. Dream goes, Then your father coming and shying away the dream ghost or chasing away the dream ghost. And then number 3, waking up. Of the 3, which is the best? Waking up. Waking up is the best. Okay, why? Why you think waking up is the best as compared to even number 2? Why? What makes you think that waking up is better than the number 2, where the father chases away the ghost? Maria?
C'est la cessation du rêve. Oui, la cessation du rêve et le bonheur de ne plus souffrir.
That's the cessation of the dream and the happiness of not suffering.
That is the cessation of the dream. Why should the dream stop? The dream is very pleasant. To see that the father removes the ghost is very pleasant. It's very nice.
Non, parce que le fantôme il peut revenir dans le rêve si j'y reste.
Because the ghost can still come again in the dream if I stay.
Okay, the ghost can still come, number 1. Then number 2, the dream, the flaw, the problem with the dream, as Sophie said, was that you don't have the control to choose the dream, right? So this is a problem. Although it's a pleasant dream, still you don't have the freedom to choose the dream. What dream you like to have, you don't have the freedom to choose. Okay, so the dream is coming from the mind or coming from the object? From the mind. It's purely subjective, yet you don't have the control. But you wake up, you're free from being the slave of the dream. Yes, no? Yes. When you wake up, you're freed from being the slave of the dream. Dream cannot dictate. When you are dreaming, the dream will dictate on you. The dream will affect you. The moment you wake up, this is total freedom. Okay, now, when we see the flower, actually, in actuality, the flower is coming from our mind. The flower is coming from our mind. Right? How? What we said is, what is really there is just a bunch of atoms. Do you agree with me? If there is something there from the object, there is just a bunch of atoms. Do you agree with me? Right? Bunch of atoms. But group A sees this as a flower. Group B sees this as a emptiness of flower. Group A sees this as a flower. Group B sees this as a emptiness of the flower. Okay, now what we said is that these two there's no contradiction between these two realities. This is a flower, this is emptiness of flower. Although these two are contradictory, seemingly contradictory, but what we said is that both are correct. Both are correct with respect to the analysis. With the conventional analysis, this is a flower. With the ultimate analysis, this is a emptiness of the flower. Okay, my question to you. One of the biggest challenge question to you. Ready? Okay. Remove, you said this is a flower only with respect to the conventional analysis. You said this is emptiness of flower only with respect to the ultimate analysis. Okay, now what I will do is that these two analyses are the object or the subject. These two analyses, conventional analysis, your naked eyes, conventional analysis, and your electron microscope, these two are the object or the subject? Subjects. Now what you do is that remove the two subjects. Remove the two subjects. What is this? Huh? Or? Huh? Absence of, there's no flower there. Huh? There's flower or no? There's flower or no? Or? Or say it again. Emptiness of flower seen by the electron microscope. I removed the electron microscope. Right? Emptiness of flower seen by which of the two analysis? Hey, emptiness of flower. You are tired. Oh, the computer is hanging. Okay. Our emptiness of flower is seen by which of the two analysis? Ultimate analysis. I said remove the ultimate analysis, remove the conventional analysis. What is this? Huh?
We don't know.
Yeah.
Raise hands, raise hands. What is this? Yes.
We don't know.
Huh?
If there is no analysis, we don't know.
Okay, say the anasophy is here and the conventional analysis is removed. You say that, oh, for you this is flower, for group A this flower. Then for group B, the anasophy will say group B, this is emptiness of flower. Now you remove the two, what will you say, what is this? Huh? Prashila?
There's nothing from the object. If something exists from the object, there should be a relationship. Like a flower and the object of flower, there should be. If something exists from the object, like how would you account for the relationship?
Okay, so the question is, if you remove the conventional analysis, which sees this as a flower, if you remove the alternate analysis, which sees this as emptiness of flower, if you remove the two analysis, what is left there? What is there? What is this?
Flower.
Flower? Okay, then this is known as objectively existent flower. Without the subjective mind, there's a flower. Independent of the subjective mind, there's a flower. That is known as objective. Independent of the subjective flower, independent of subjective mind, if something is there, this should be objective. So the flower, if there's something, there's a flower, it becomes objective flower. Okay, Laura?
It seems like it would either be nothing at all, or it would be just a form without a name.
Or there's a form which exists objectively. Wow, that's amazing.
So my first answer was maybe it's nothing at all.
Okay, okay, Frank?
I think it's the combination of the two, so flower is empty mind existence.
Combination of the two is there.
Yeah.
Removing the two analysis, then the combination of two is left.
Well, it's both.
No, combination of two is left now. Remove the two analysis, what is left there is combination of two. So that combination of two exists objectively. Is what you're saying?
No.
Okay, this also not. Okay. So now, Maria?
Je pense que si on en enlève les deux, c'est pour dire que si la fleur est là, elle a sa propre existence intrinsèque.
So, if we discard the two types of analysis and if the flower still exists, then it would have an objective existence.
Okay. My question is not if the flower exists. My question is if you remove the two analysis, what is there? This is my question. What is this? This is my question. Okay, Howard?
I would say that the flower is still there because like the Buddha has an omniscient mind.
And say it again. The flower is still there.
Like if we think the Buddha with his omniscient mind, so that he will always be able to perceive the presence of the flower, even if there's no other subject there. Whatever, so he would see with his ability to see dualism, he would see the flower both as conventional and ultimate, even if we're not there.
Okay, so even if the two analyses are not there, the Buddha should be still seeing this as a flower. So therefore the flower should be there. This is Howard's very strong the argument. Okay, how many agree with Howard? Okay, Laura agrees. How many don't agree with Howard? Okay, why don't you agree? Any argument against that? Against?
I'm sure that Buddha has ultimate analysis too, so if we remove ultimate analysis...
Okay, even Buddha's analysis, but this is very strong debate. Thank you. Otherwise I'm lost. Thank you, Anasafi. Okay, otherwise what to answer? Okay, Anasafi is saying, even the Buddha's mind is also ultimate analysis.
He has dualism, he can see both conventional.
Yes, when he sees the conventional is the conventional analysis, when he sees the ultimate is the ultimate analysis. So we have removed the rhetoric or the hypothetically we have removed the two analysis, including the Buddha's mind. Right, this is what Anasafi is saying. Thank you. Okay, anybody? Yes, Laura, what do you want to say?
I was just going to say that isn't omniscience something other than ultimate or conventional?
Okay, so don't think of omniscience as somewhere outside. Our mind is going to become the omniscient mind. You getting it? Our mind is going to become the omniscient mind. How? Our mind is going to stop the dream. What we are seeing is all form of dream, which our mind is projecting it. We project it, number one. What is number two?
We don't realize
We don't realize that we are projecting it. Number two. What is number three? Therefore, we see this as objectively real, right? Okay, this is a problem. So when you stop the dream, stop projecting the dream, then your mind project the dream in its most refined form, then your mind becomes the omniscient mind. Don't think that is outside omniscient mind. That mind is known as the ultimate analysis, which Anna Sophie said. Okay, Maria?
Vous me répétez la question?
You raise your hands.
Mais comme ils ont répondu.
Okay, my question is, Guru Ace, is this a flower? Okay, in other words, let me put it now technically. This object is seen as a flower. This is a flower with respect to the conventional analysis. This is emptiness of flower with respect to the ultimate analysis. So now, to see that this is flower or this is emptiness of flower, we have to, it can be spoken of only with relation to the subject. Two subject. Remove the two subject, what is this? Huh? Flower. Okay. I said remove the two subjects. Right?
Donc, je réponds maintenant. Si on enlève les deux sujets, comme la fleur est son apparition est en dépendance des deux sujets, donc si on enlève les deux sujets, on ne peut pas trouver la fleur.
Because the flower exists in dependence on the subjects, if we discount the subjects, we cannot find the flower.
Yes, that's true. That's true. So, what's then? If there's no flower, then what's there? Huh? Nothing is there. Absence is there.
You don't have a phenomena. You don't have a phenomena if you don't have the mind to see the phenomena.
Okay, so the lack of phenomena is there. The Anna Sophie smiles, which means it's a good point. Okay, yes.
When we see it's not there on its own side.
Oh yes, so we realize when we remove the two analysis, then we realize that it exists only with respect to the two analysis. So when you remove the two analysis, there's nothing that exists from its own side. Okay, this is a very good point. This is a very good point. Okay, now, experientially, how can we get there? Experientially, how can I know that without my mind, nothing's really there? How can we know this? How can we know this? This is a very important point. You getting it? So for that matter, this is known as the establishing emptiness. What is emptiness? This question. Establishing emptiness. For that, okay. So establishing emptiness is done with the help. There are many reasons employed. Many reasons employed to establish what emptiness is. So the one that we're going to use, of course there are many reasons. Like, say the one that we will discuss learn here is the reasoning to establish the reasoning of the four essentials to establish emptiness. The reasoning of the four essentials to establish emptiness. This is what we're going to study here. Alongside, we're also going to study the reasoning of the rejection of the seven modes. Reasoning of rejecting the seven modes to establish emptiness. Okay, we will study these two. One is the reasoning of the four essentials to establish emptiness. Number one. Number 2 is reasoning, the reasoning of rejecting the 7 modes to establish emptiness. We're going to study these 2. Right?
Yeah, sure. That would help us to answer the question that without our mind there is nothing there. By studying these 3 essential and 7 modes.
Not 3 essential, 4 essentials.
But that would help to answer the question, yes?
Okay. Will that help us to solve the problem? Or will that help us to give the answer to this question? What is left there if the 2 references are removed? 100% yes. Happy now? Someone happy? Zosan's a little scared. What is there? Right? Okay, he wants to grab something. Awesome. So suddenly I brought up these 2 reasonings. These 2 reasons, will they really help you? Answer is yes. Right?
What is the 7 modes? Is that the 7?
Okay. The reasoning of rejecting the 7 modes to establish emptiness. The reasoning to reject the 7 modes to establish emptiness. Okay. Good. We'll stop here. Oh, any questions? 1 or 2 questions? 1 or 2 questions? Yes, oh.
Dans le groupe discussion, ça a fait débat. Je donne un exemple. Par exemple, ici dans cette Gompa, est-ce que la Gompa est le contenant, c'est-à-dire que nous, par exemple, les personnes, donc les retraitants, sont une entité, et du coup, donc nous sommes une entité, et est-ce que du coup, les retraitants sont un isolé de l'entité Gompa?
So there was a question during the discussion group, and so they asked if the retreatants in the compound, in the temple, and the temple itself are one entity, and if the retreatants themselves are different isolates.
Okay, this is a good question. So, okay, let's say we in this hall, the retreatants in this hall, and this Gomba, and the Gomba. These 2 entities was one or different. What's the answer? Okay, the Gomba and we, the participants of this retreat, these 2 entities was one or different? Different. Shah says these 2 entities was different. Okay, how many agree with Shah? Entity was different. Your sense? Okay, how many say entity was one? Entity was one. Okay, where is Gomba? Gomba is there. Laura is Gomba. Laura, is she Gomba or not? Laura is not Gomba. Right? If you point to Laura and say that she's Gomba, it's totally wrong. So, Laura and Gomba. Where's Gomba? This is Gomba. Where's Laura? She's Gomba. She's Laura. We have to point to 2 different objects. We have to point to 2 different objects. Therefore, these 2 entity-wise different. Not only that, all the participants inside, each of the participants, for example, like Venerable Pinkhenla and Venerable Tsoksanla, these 2 entity-wise one or different? Entity-wise? Different. Okay, entity-wise different. Yes?
Is it the same for the altar, for instance?
Say it again, altar and the Gomba.
Yes, so it's different.
Okay, altar and Gomba, these 2 entity-wise one or different? Altar, is this a part of Gomba?
Yes.
Yes, no?
Yes.
If it is a part of Gomba, Gomba is the whole, altar is the part.
Yes.
Part and whole, the relationship is always entity-wise? One. Very good. Okay, any more questions? Yes?
But if we take out the hotel and the people, this is not a group.
Which one? Okay, if we take the altar, if we take away all the people, this is not a gomba.
No, this is a room.
This is a room, this is not a gomba. That's true. So it doesn't mean that gomba should exist permanently. This is not what I said.
Yeah.
Gomba can become non-gomba also.
Yes, but the gompa implies there is a hotel and people come there.
Okay.
So its entity is losing.
So the gomba and the altar, this entity was one and different.
Yeah, to be, it's a convention, but it's a conventionally, we labeled, if it's labeled gompa, it's because there is
Altar and the people coming to the place. Participants.
Yeah, there is something which means it's a gompa.
Yes, that's true. So what's the question?
So we need to be a gompa, we need the hotel, and we need the person.
Okay, so what's the question?
It was a question of both.
This is your question? No, this is not a question, this is answer.
No, yes.
What Martin said is the statement, it's not a question.
Yeah, it was not the same answer as you, and I asked if this is an
Okay,
answer.
if this is how we should understand gompa, this is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Very good, of course, yes. Yeah. Yes, or you use this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we need the people to say it's a gompa.
Okay. So when the Kalachakra is in holiday, this is not gompa then.
If there is never anyone, it's not a gompa anymore.
Okay, when the people in the night, nobody is in this hall. So in the night, this is not gompa.
Yeah.
In the night, this is not gompa. Oh, that's
no, but if
interesting.
it was never.
Okay, so
it was abandoned.
Okay. Only if this is abandoned. If somebody else said, okay, now Kalachakra will have a new gomba, they build a very huge gomba, then this is made as rooms. Is this still gomba or not?
No.
This is not a gomba, but this is not abandoned. People live in here.
Abandoned as a gompa.
Okay. Very good. Okay, yes, Jane.
Un objet qui se détériore d'instant en instant, change ses caractéristiques d'instant en instant, à quel moment l'entité disparaît?
So when the composed phenomenon changes moment by moment, its characteristics also change moment by moment. So when do we say that its continuum ceased? When?
Okay, this is a very interesting question. Say the flower. Okay, are you here with this or without this? Okay, good. Say the flower. The flower is a composite phenomenon. It changes. As it changes, its characteristics also changes. So, let's say we burn the flower, then it becomes ashes. The continuum of the flower ceases, and the characteristics of the flower also ceases. But Jane, I can see that I did not get your question well. So.
Peut-être si quand c'est un processus lent, par exemple si la fleur se détériore lentement, là quand c'est le feu, elle va disparaître assez rapidement. Mais par exemple, si la fleur fleurit, il y a un moment, est-ce que c'est le moment où on ne reconnaît plus? Est-ce que c'est lié à la perception du sujet? Est-ce qu'il y a un moment où on ne va plus reconnaître que c'est une fleur? Mais à quel... Voilà, quel est le facteur qui fait que l'identité
So if we burn the flower, then this is the gross impermanence. We can see that it is not a flower anymore. But when it dries slowly, at which point do we know that it's not a flower anymore? So it depends on our perception. At which point
Jane is coming up with a very complicated question. I can see that. Yeah, okay. So I tried to stop her question and she reinforced the question, put it so nicely. I said, I burn it. Burn it means we see that he has continued start. Right? She said, no, don't take this example. I will give you my example. She's coming with her example. Don't burn it. Let it dry naturally. Right? At what point the flower stops to be the flower? This is her question. Very good, smart question. Not only smart, she's able to trap me. She's able to stop my trick. I try to trick her, right? Okay, so this is a good question. Okay, now, if I try to, did you follow the question? Did you all follow the question? The question is a very smart question. At what point, like what Martin asked, right? Gomba, when is the time that it ceases to be Gomba, or something which is not a Gomba? When is it that it becomes a Gomba? So, what is that line? What is that fine line? Okay, if you look for the fine line on the object, objectively there's no fine line. Objectively there's no fine line to say that this is a point, up to this point is a flower, beyond this point is not a flower. From the object there's no fine line. I cannot really pinpoint to the object, saying that this is a point when it becomes flower, then this point, this is the dividing line. There's no dividing line. It is like white, pure white, and the black color, right? And then slowly it becomes black. So at one point, black becomes white, white becomes black. You cannot distinguish. Right? Okay, but conventionally, you can say, oh, this is a flower, this is not a flower. Then the flower which is about to die, we say that, oh, this is a withered flower. You're getting it? Conventionally, only conventionally exists. Nothing from the object. From the object, you cannot really pinpoint to say that this is a mark. Right? But science, modern science wants something to be measured from the object, and is a very technical part. But then conventionally they create measurements. Conventionally they are successful in creating measurements conventionally. Oh, the best would be Jane. You can ask the botanist, the scientist, botanist. Botanist meaning you can ask them, what's the point? Because I'm not a botanist. Right? So what's the point? It's a flower, no flower. You check the botanist. If you want to know, what is a good table, what is a good wooden table, don't ask me. I'm not a carpenter. You ask the carpenter. Right? So likewise, when is a good time to plant the flowers, when is a good time to plant the crops, you ask the farmers. Don't ask me. You're getting it? So convention. They know people are expert in their own respective conventions. It's not that I am the expert in all the conventions. Farmers, they are best in the conventions of the farming. The botanist or the florist. The florists, they are the best. They are the ones who best know. They are the ones who best know the convention of the flowers. What is flower, what is not flower, and so forth. In other words, what I'm saying is that it's purely convention. From the object, you will never find what point. Anyway, your question is very smart, I know that. Yes. Okay, Sharp.
La science rejoint la faculté dans la mesure où je crois que c'est Lavoisier qui disait que rien ne se crée, rien ne se perd, tout se transforme. Donc c'est une transformation constante, il n'y a pas de naissance, il n'y a pas de mort.
So in science, there was Lavoisier who said nothing is produced and nothing ceases, but everything is transforming. So there is no production and there is no ceasing.
Who said it?
Lavoisier.
A physicist, a French chemist.
A chemist in France, Lavoisier.
Okay, so everything is in a process of flux.
Yeah.
There's nothing produced, nothing ceases.
It's
Okay.
the same that it's the same notion of emptiness in the Buddhist. Yeah?
Okay, these are the areas. These are the areas that we really need to work on. It's a very good point. Everything is in flux. Everything is in flux. Constant change. There's nothing. Okay, is this what he said? Everything is in flux. Is what he said? Just tell me precisely what he said.
Rien ne se crée, rien ne se perd. Tout se transforme.
That's what he said. He said nothing is produced and nothing ceases, but everything transforms.
Okay, everything transforms. Okay, so there, what is so important is don't quickly come to the conclusion. This was same, this was not same. Don't quickly come to the conclusion. Don't make a quick conclusion. This is very important. Why I'm saying this is that, for example, physics, according to physics, the law of conservation of the momentum. Law of conservation of momentum, where it says, for example, the particles are always conserved. They never annihilate. At the most, they change into form. They change into energy. And the energy can once again come back to the physical form, physical particles. Except for the transformation of the form, it never annihilates. No new particles are created. This is what the physics says. Right? If this is understanding, then it is not really about the emptiness. It is about, say, the law of conservation, which means that what is there in this universe is conserved. Nothing is newly created. Nothing annihilates. This concept. Everything is a constant flux of change, transformation. From one state, it transforms to another state, Nothing is really lost. Nothing is newly created. So this does not have the connotation of emptiness. This is what we need to know. This is reality which even the Buddhist philosophy can accept. Yeah. Okay, Thomas?
Analysis of entity and Hisore is conventional conventional analysis.
Yes.
So can we apply Hisore and entity to ultimate analysis?
Okay. Can we apply the concept of the entities and isolates to the ultimate analysis? Okay, this is a good question. Okay, can we apply the ultimate analysis to this object?
Yes.
Can we apply the ultimate analysis to this object?
Yes.
Can we apply the conventional analysis to this object?
Yes.
Yes. Likewise, entities and isolates, or let's say this is entities and isolates concept. Can we apply ultimate analysis to this? Answer is yes. Ultimate analysis, conventional analysis, both can be applied to all phenomena.
So if I change my analysis, what I saw as Hisore with conventional analysis, it's changed when I do
ultimate analysis.
Yeah.
Yes. So with the same person, Thomas, you subject this object to the conventional analysis, you see this a flower. Then you change this analysis from the conventional to the ultimate, you see this an entrance to the flower. The moment you change your perception, the moment you change your analysis, the object also changes. Right? Okay, very good. Any more present questions? Okay, the last question, Howard.
Just going back, because I didn't quite understand Sophie's reply or her refutation. Why is it, so she could just explain again, why is it that you said the flower without the subjects here is no longer present if the Buddha is omniscient and should in theory I would have thought be able to see it?
Did I say something?
No, you said Sophie replied, didn't she, to that?
No, what I said is that what Sophie saved me. I just said that. I did not give any answer from my side.
So I didn't hear Sophie's reply.
Oh, then you have to check with Sophie. Because if I paraphrase, it can be mistaken, right? So Howard, you can check with Sophie. Anna Sophie, not Sophie. Anna Sophie, after the class. Okay. Anna Sophie, be prepared. Okay. We turn to page 282. Is it in the text? Nalvin prayers. Is it there? Nalvin prayers. Is it translated? Not Lamrin? No, it is letter. Then you do Lamrin. Okay, let us turn to page 280. Page 280. Dedication. Page 280. Is the same page? Yes. All our two collections, vast space that are vast, were working with after this practice for a great length of time, and of the sheep living Buddha for all those whose minds were smart, blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, they be held in a loving kindness for all lives of the Jewish and find the best of the complete greater part of the teachings, and may have pleased all the Buddhas by their practice. Those in skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may clear the darkness from the minds of all beings, with the point of the paths that discern them. May I uphold Buddha's teachings for a very long time. Let my heart run on with great compassion. In whatever directions the most precious teachings have not yet spread or once spread has declined, my glorious treasure happens today. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted boundless peace, and the Buddha's peace be nourished for a long time. May even this great path of enlightenment traverse completely due to the one whose virtues come to the Buddhas and the children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and create conducive conditions for the present and excellent path never be separated in any of their lives from the purest path placed by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold mind of virtuous apprentices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones and the oceans of prosperity spread everywhere.